Hi folks, in this video I'm going to be talking to you about ninth chords. If you've not yet watched the videos about triads and seventh chords, watch those first, because otherwise this one is not going to make sense. So we are going to be using the accordion. Everything is going to be in the key of C. As always, I would recommend that you try this stuff in the context of actual music. So ninth chords are a lot like seventh chords, just more so. There's just more notes in them. They're more complex, more intellectual, more jazzy, for lack of a better word. Yeah, with that, let's get to it. So the first chord we're going to look at is the major ninth. It's basically just the major seventh, but with a ninth on top of it. So to get the major seventh, we go root, skip the second and go third, skip the fourth and go fifth, skip the sixth and go seventh, and then skip the root and go nine. Very pretty, yeah? That's a lot of notes. In real life, you might leave some of them out. You don't really need the fifth in there. You don't even really need the seventh in there, actually. Isn't that nice? Now you can even try it without the fifth. This, rather interestingly, is just a G major triad with C in the bass. It's a nice voicing of C major ninth. So yeah, has the same function as C major seventh, just a little bigger. All right, next we get the dominant ninth chord, C9. Basically the same thing as C7, but again, just with an extra note on top of it. We're going to generate it from C mixolydian mode. We're going to do the same thing. We're going to go root, third, fifth, seventh, ninth. Funky. Yeah, I hear this in James Brown a lot. It's a little dense. You don't really need the fifth in there. Yeah. You do want the seventh, because otherwise it loses its dominant quality. Because you need the seventh and the third to get that nice tritone. Yep, use it anywhere where you would use a dominant seventh chord. Sounds awesome. Okay. Next, we have a much darker and more mysterious chord. This is the seventh flat ninth. So it's like a C9 chord, but the ninth is flattened. And the most common use case for this is from the Phrygian dominant mode, which is the fifth mode of harmonic. So I'm going to switch to Phrygian dominant here. One, three, five, seven, regular dominant seventh chord, and then flat nine. Dark, dissonant, minor ninth, flat ninth, pretty much the darkest interval that exists. You can tame your minor ninth chord by just leaving, your seven flat nine chord, by just leaving the root off of it. So instead, you just get 3, 5, 7, flat 9, and then it just becomes D flat diminished. So yeah, you can think of a diminished chord as being a rootless voicing of a 7 flat 9 chord, so that's useful. No matter how you play it, this is a very dark chord. The typical use case for it is that it would then be resolving to F minor. And you could think of C Phrygian dominant as being the same thing as the F harmonic minor scale. Might make more sense for you to... The dominant is 7, flat 9, and then it resolves to F minor. Yeah, real classical music thing there, but also in jazz. Reset to C. So that's 7 flat 9. Now we get to 7 sharp 9. 7 sharp 9 is a little bit special. You most commonly associate it with, well, there's two different forms of it. There's the jazz form and the blues form. And the blues form is just a regular old C7 chord, but with D sharp on top of it. That's actually going to be pretty hard to play on the accordion, my best. So I'm going to make my scale like Mixolydian mode. I'm going to make a regular dominant chord, and then instead of D, I'm going to have D sharp. With the accordion, I can't play those notes at the same time, but it's easy to play on the guitar. That 7 sharp 9 chord, sometimes called the Hendrix chord, because Jimi Hendrix uses it at the beginning of Purple Haze and Foxy Lady and probably some other places. And you don't, I mean, you can use it over Mixolydian mode, but it's actually most commonly associated with C blues. Yeah. So those are two different ways you can think about 7 sharp 9. The jazz version of 7 sharp 9 is usually sometimes written 7 sharp 9, but more often written 7th altered or 7 alt, because it will include some other alterations. Alt is jazz shorthand for flat 9, sharp 9, flat 5, sharp 5. And it comes from a very weird and interesting scale called the C altered scale. So you got this is a mode of D flat melodic minor. But from C to C. And you can make this you can make your 7 sharp 9 chord. You got to leave out the 5th because there's no G in this scale. But when you see C7 altered written in jazz, it doesn't just mean sharp 9. It also means flat 9 and maybe sharp 5 and maybe also flat 5. Any combination of those extensions. Really rich, weird, interesting chord. Basically, just play anything from the C altered scale at once. It just sounds wonderful. It's so cool. You do this all the time in, like, the music of John Coltrane and Herbie Hancock and Thelonious Monk and Miles Davis. Yeah, very hip and weird stuff. Okay, the last 9th chord is much tamer and more chill. It's minor 9th, same as minor 7th, but just with a 9th. So here is the natural minor scale. I'm just going to go root, 3rd, 5th, 7th, 9th. So wistful. Can leave the 5th out of it. Yeah. Or you could even leave the 7th out of it, I suppose. Yeah, lots of voicing possibilities for the minor 9th chord. Definitely something you hear in jazz. And yeah, basically whenever the chord symbol says C minor 7, you can also just throw in C minor just for a little extra bit of color. So those are your 7th chords, not all the possible, or 9th chords rather. It's not all the possible 9th chords, those are just the ones that you see the most commonly out there in the wild. Thanks for watching.